The Ministry of Disaster Preparedness has revealed that there is demand for another 5-year phase of the Development Response to Displacement Impacts project as the clock ticks towards closure of the first 5-year phase at the end of the next year. According to the Minister of Disaster Preparedness, Engineer Hillary Onek, this demand is premised on the need to bridge gaps in the existing project as well as building on the milestones already achieved under the current phase of DRDIP. Hakim Wampamba has the details.
The geopolitical tensions and conflicts in the Great Lakes region often erupt into wars within Uganda's neighbors like the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Central African Republic, and Somalia. Because of her open-door policy, Uganda is home to 1.6 million refugees, according to the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, making it the third largest refugee host country in the world. Refugees, however, come with pressures on the existing public amenities and resources in their host communities, and it can only get worse with limited budgets of the local governments, as only little is left to finance services like education, health, infrastructure, and others. Owing to this, Government of Uganda through the Office of the Prime Minister and the Ministry for Disaster Preparedness sought for funding from the World Bank to change the status quo through the Development Response to Displacement Impacts project, DRDIP, which is a 5-year intervention. The project covers 15 refugee hosting districts in Uganda to include Adjumani, Moyo, Obongi, Terego, Yumbe, Koboko, and Arua. Others are Madiokolo, Hoima, Chikube and Chiliandongo, Lamor, Isinjiro, Kamwenge and Chegegwa. The project operates 13 settlements in these districts. So the team traveled 183 kilometers to Chiliandongo district to assess the progress of DRDIP. The district top officials here tell us that DRDIP has been an important solution to most of the community challenges.
It has covered so many areas of life. Yeah, it has covered the health, it has covered education, it has covered the transportations and all this, so, and even the livelihood. So the impact is so great.
It is a Saturday morning here at Chibanda Secondary School and teachers are already at work. Some of these share how easy their work has been made, courtesy of the project.
With these new structures, there is some good teaching environment. The structures around they have attracted very many students because our enrollment increased in senior 1 and 2. We are also wise. What we did, we gave them many of the young ones, the senior 1s and the senior 2s. Then of recent, we have also brought senior 3s.
The great change in the learning environment has stretched its arms to the learners as well.
A lot of structures, the latrine, the environment is clear. That's the many things they've done for us. I think I'll get a first grade this year, I promise.
Desks, when you sit on them, you feel so comfortable more than us. We are those ones down there. When you sit on this desk, you are so comfortable and all your intention you give the teacher.
Owing to the intervention of DRDIP, grades for the learners are not expected to be the same again as the space for revising books is available in plenty. As these modern toilets constructed at the school premises increase the levels of hygiene in the oldest government-aided institution in Chiliandongo district, the pressures of the additional estimated 76,000 refugees onto the education services have greatly been reduced. The district is also grappling with access to medical services. Chiliandongo General Hospital receives an estimated 500 patients every single day, and this is for only those that can trek the long distances to the town council. In order to increase access to medical services, Panyandoli Hills Health Center 3, tucked in these 5 square kilometer refugee settlements, has seen some changes too. This is not the first time Amolen Christine, a mother of 6, is coming to this medical center for medical attention.
2016 July, and in July I came with 6 children. Out of the 6, 1 was sick when we arrived, actually was malnourished.
She shares that the once congested health facility not only made her life difficult, but also put the life of her child in danger.
Actually, it was too congested.
Efforts to reduce the pain of access to health services in the settlement saw the construction of this modern facility. Pauline Lacote is the in charge of this facility.
Because if I remember, in the past block where we are, there was no privacy at all. Everything was just congested in one place. Like we had there postnatal, maternity, young child clinic in the whole block. But right now, because of this building, we have separated the postnatal, antenatal, family planning. In fact, all the reproductive health services are being done from here.
Nadonga Anthony, a clinical officer at this facility, works on an average of 80 to 100 patients every day. These include mothers and children. He believes that he could have even handled more, only if he wasn't constrained.
I travel about 5 kilometers from where I stay to the workstation here, and that's so much inconvenience, especially if the weather is bad, when it has rained, it becomes so hard.
The health center staff quarters can only allow for 2 staff members, leaving the rest to the pain of commuting outside this settlement. However, this is bound to change with the construction of the new staff quarters. Engineer Daniel Achar is the lead engineer on this project.
Since we are starting today is our day for starting it. It will take us 3 months. Then the entire community also will benefit.
Delivery of these staff quarters on time and on budget not only carries with it hopes of reduction of delays in availing health services, but also increases the number of cases handled per day, as the hours spent traveling can be used to handle additional patients. Component 3 of DRDIP focuses on improving livelihoods, as the economic well-being of people is a key determinant of harmony between the refugees and the host communities. As such, elements such as farming, trade, among others, are prioritized. Under the Livelihood Support Program, 4.1 billion shillings has been injected in 115 self-help groups and 96 community interest groups. Meet Ronald Awekunimungu, a beneficiary of the Livelihood Support Program in Karungu Watershed 1.
Actually, before we joined DRDIP project, our life were not easy. We could not manage to run the business.
He says without fear of contradiction that his economic life has changed a lot owing to DRDIP.
As I'm talking, I have like a small retail shop whereby I can earn daily. And I have the money right now.
A community facilitator under this program, Violet Bingi, is here to check on the progress of the produce buying and selling program.
We did the selection of the poorest, the active poor. Yes, because we categorized them, the rich, the poor who are active poor, and then the poorest of the poor. But then the one we were supporting under component 3, that is livelihood, are the active poor.
Bingi says that the group would have even earned much more from the investments if access to the group's premises was easier.
The roads are very poor, and that's where the highest population is. Where, okay, that is their catchment area where they expect to get a lot of what? Produce.
The hopes for this group all lay in this 14-kilometer Sirivachiriampongula road that is still under construction. When complete, access to the market as well as produce buying and selling groups spread across the district will be easier. And to allow for this, a committee of the locals was selected to see to it that the contractor delivers the project on time.
They said it was supposed to take 6 months to complete this road, but the engineer himself said in 2 months he will be handing over to the local government, to Kiriandongo district local government.
To the locals, completion of this road will reduce the cost of doing business as well as connecting the nearby production centers to the markets. But according to the Chief Administrative Officer of Chiriandongo District, Martin Jakan Goto, Production, access to markets and vibrant trade still sit at the mercy of the environment, an element that is firmly woven within the DRDIP as component 2.
DRDIP is now putting on tree planting, recovery of the lost whatever acreage of whatever. And that one also has some components, a very big component which has been supported. The farmers alone have planted 260 acres of trees.
With a total of 121 sub-projects coming at a cost of 5.9 billion, efforts to reverse the negative impacts of climate change have been undertaken. To Jakan Goto, much as there is still a long way to go in development, the investment is worthy.
With this kind of move, with this kind of transformation, we believe these unfortunate circumstances will be reversed.
To the District Commercial Officer Sam Kakumba, the project came at the right time and the fruits are visible within the refugee and host communities.
There is overwhelming demand. Yes, this project is implemented in a watershed model. Not that it works in the whole district. It works in a watershed model. These are the water catchment areas of the project, of the district.
A total of 34.5 billion has been injected into component 1 of social infrastructure development with 15 sub-projects, 9 health facilities, 10 road projects and an administration block. With the project coming to an end in 2023, a sustainability strategy has already been put in place.
The design of our project is hinged on the sustainability mechanism, and so the longevity of our project is envisaged in the design, and so we hope that our project's investments will accrue benefits even beyond the lifespan.
But according to the Acting Commissioner of Refugees, the plan has proven to be resilient as it has fostered social harmony not only in Chiryandongo, but other refugee hosting communities.
That has been one of the biggest contributions of DRDIP in the infrastructure development and service delivery within the host communities and the refugee communities. And that has led to a peaceful coexistence between the refugees and the host communities.
The Minister of Disaster Preparedness, Engineer Hillary Onek, says that plans to request for an extension of DRDIP are underway.
We are currently working out with our partners in IGAD countries the next phase of DRDIP, which we shall present to our donors by end of this year or early next year.
With the help of development partners, the ministry hopes that the remaining challenges will be fixed within the extension of the project into another phase.
It's going to fill the gaps in education, health, primarily, and also now comprehensively address the infrastructure, the road infrastructure, communication, and bridges and so on.
In pursuit of the sustainable development goals, the Ugandan government, along with the World Bank, are creating a safe haven for both refugees and the host communities. Hakim Wampamba, NBS, Live at 9.
I'm really lost for words. I'm a big fan of the British royal family, and the loss of the Queen is